What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the film room. Today we're going to be taking a look at some Donovan Wilson film. Going to be taking a look at what I like about Donovan Wilson and also some things that I think he definitely needs to improve on. Most of the film we're going to be using and talking about Donovan Wilson this video is going to be from the Vikings game. I feel like this past Sunday he really put the world on notice, like, hey, I'm not just another one of those safeties that Jerry's throwing back there to get burnt. Like, I'm a force to be reckoned with. So getting into it, I feel like it's fitting to get started with this first play that kind of put the world on notice about young Donovan Wilson, and that was the angle route from Dalvin Cook. Wilson cracks down and absolutely pops him. Fumble, Jalen picks it up, gets a nice little return out of it. So what we're going to be in here is just going to be our usual kind of two-high man look. Manned up here. Jalen's going to be manned up here. Leighton's going to be manned up here on the tight end, manned up here, and then each having kind of some safety help over the top on each half of the field. So, going to let the play run out for you guys first. Donovan Wilson comes down. Boom. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of guys in the league that can say they've ever done that to a running back like Dalvin Cook. I can't say I've watched every Vikings game that Dalvin Cook has been a part of, but I can honestly guess that he probably has never been hit like that. What I want you guys to see on this play, though, before the hit, and this was actually really nice coverage from Donovan Wilson. So he's going to be helping out with his safety help kind of over on this half of the field. Sees Jefferson coming. He's going to come down first. Jefferson sees Dalvin Cook has the ball and then is going to come down. And this is the best part of Donovan Wilson easily. While he may not be the best kind of safety helper in coverage, and we'll get into that later in the video, but he's going to come down and he's going to lay a hit. He is not going to afraid to do that. He is a downfield hitter, and what I mean by that is he's never kind of like stuttering, going into hips, going for legs. He's going to come down and he's going to crack you, and most importantly, he does it clean. Shoulder down, wraps up, gets him at the midsection. And yeah, that's about as textbook as it gets. This play here is going to put a bit of an emphasis on Donovan Wilson's willingness to get downfield, attack the ball carrier, and most importantly, when he hits him, go through him and make him fall backwards rather than forwards. So the Cowboys are going to be in a little bit of a 5-3 stack here, and Wilson's going to be lined up at the will linebacker position. The Vikings are going to give a little inside zone handoff to Dalvin Cook, and he's going to come right through this gap here. Wilson's going to shuffle down and make a play at about the 10-yard line, and most importantly, when he does, go through Dalvin Cook and knock him backwards to not allow him to fall forward for extra yards. Let it play out for you guys. We're going to see Wilson shuffle down here, read it, make a play, go through him, knock him backwards. Going to show it from this angle here. Wilson's lined up here. And yeah, this is pretty much exactly what you want to see out of your safeties when you put them down in the box. A willingness to go downfield and attack the ball carrier and knock him backwards. Getting into another thing that I really like about Donovan Wilson is that he is very keen to get his hands on the football. And what I mean by that, I'm not trying to compare him to Charles Tillman or anything quite yet, but he's going to get after the football when he has an opportunity to. Showing you on this play here, Cowboys defense is going to be, again, in that 5-3 stack, except what we're going to do is rush Donovan Wilson off this right edge, and we're going to drop off, I believe that's Dorrance Armstrong, off this left edge and kind of into a flat coverage. Cousins is going to drop back and Wilson is going to get home, and when he does, he somehow comes away with the football. Watching this live, I was really confused as to what had happened. I just assumed, all right, Cousins was down. He kind of rolled over the top of him and took it. But no, Wilson somehow, while he was taking Kirk Cousins down, managed to pull the football away from him and get possession before Cousins got to the ground. And yeah, that's just super impressive. You saw him do something similar to Carson Wentz on that Sunday Night Football matchup a few weeks ago, where he came down and sacked Wentz and was able to get the ball kind of on the way to the ground a little bit. So yeah, and I'll show you a couple plays after this too. Another thing I want you to watch on this play is Justin Hamilton, man, 79 here. Look at him blow this up, right up the middle. just takes his guy for a ride. And then, of course, DeMarcus Lawrence getting the initial pressure just on a straight inside speed rush, allowing Wilson to get there and have a go at the football. Not going to get too into detail on this play here. Just going to kind of show you guys how he is going after the football when he can. Wilson's going to be lined up at the top here. Outside pitch to Dalvin Cook. He's going to come down, force him to the edge, and then at the end try to punch that football out. Nothing really can lose here. He has Dalvin Cook closed off, so yeah, may as well go for the football. I like the effort. I mentioned on that last play that Donovan Wilson had nothing to lose and went for the football, and I think when he is going for the football, he's being smart in doing so, and that's why I say that. He does it when he really has nothing to lose. You saw on that strip sack he had of Kirk Cousins, DeMarcus Lawrence was already there, had him wrapped up, so then Wilson comes in and goes after the football. On that last play, Dalvin Cook at that point just has to run out of bounds, so he's going to make one last go at the football. This play here, you'll see Donovan Wilson eventually, yep, there you go, come across, come down, make the initial hit, and then when Van Der Esch has him wrapped up, go for and literally hang on to that football. And, yeah, it's at one point holding him up is just Madison holding the football is holding up Donovan Wilson. So you'll see him come across here, come down, and he's not going for the football initially. He's just making the hit, stopping him, and then when he has an opportunity to, that's when he's getting after the ball and trying to make a play. There's nothing risky there. He's just going for the football. Once again, not going to get too into detail on this play. We're going to have Donovan Wilson lined up over here on the edge. And the one thing to point out is I love how versatile we are and where we position Donovan Wilson on the field. In this video alone, we've seen him back as a center fielder, in a two-high man as a safety on the right or left, down as a linebacker in a 5-3 stack, and then even down as an edge defender. So yeah, he's just going to play the edge, contain on the outside, shuffle his way down the line of scrimmage, and then when Dalvin Cook gets wrapped up, you'll see him prying at that ball, going for that football with his left hand, just looking to force a fumble and make a play. And I know stuff like this seems easy. It's kind of basic, like, hey, you're the second guy in, come in, try to get after that football. But still, though, you don't see a lot of guys doing it, and doing it with the consistency that Donovan Wilson is. He is a guy, and especially on a defense that for the past few years has not really been one to generate many turnovers. It's really nice and refreshing to see a guy come down and want to get after the football. And hell, the results are there so far this season. Getting into what I want to see improve out of Donovan Wilson, and it's really just one pretty big critique for me, and that is that his safety help needs to be a little bit better on over-the-top routes. On this play here, you'll see, and being that he is a good safety in terms of coming down and playing the run, coming downfield, making a hit, I kind of understand how this may be a tough transition for him, coming back here, playing center field, and being the last line of defense on a play-action pass. So what we're going to have here, Cousins drops back, play fakes, kind of does a little bit of a bootleg, and then Justin Jefferson just going to go on a straight little kind of inside to out, but ultimately end up going straight down the field. I'll let it play out for you guys. You'll watch Wilson kind of get off balance a little bit outside, and then by that time Jefferson is just gone. Anthony Brown didn't really stand much of a chance on that route. Jefferson got out in front, and he was expecting the safety help, but it just was not there from Donovan Wilson. You'll see Donovan Wilson start to drift off to the left, which is definitely a problem when the only receivers going out for routes are on the right. Where I'd like to see Donovan Wilson on this play is just kind of backpedaling along the hash marks. He doesn't really need to have his eyes anywhere else but on this side. Anything that comes out here is likely just going to be something leaking, and you'll have your backside coverage pick that up pretty easily. So all Donovan Wilson really needs to worry about is everything on this side. There's no reason he should be ever drifting off to the left, or anywhere really left of these hash marks. If anything, he should be drifting a bit towards the right. And then you'll see Jefferson kind of give the inside move, and that fools him completely. Gets him on his heels a little bit, and at that point, that's a house call. I'll go back one more time for you guys so you can see it. Wilson, you're going to see eyes in the backfield, starts backpedaling, and when he backpedals, it goes off to the left. I also think some of the reason he might have done this, the Vikings kind of made it seem like it was going to be a bootleg and that Cousins would be rolling to the right, but it really wasn't. They just faked the handoff far outside to the left, and Cousins, even though he kind of did boot, really ended up in the same spot of which he took the snap. You'll see here, takes the snap there, bootlegs, but then ends up kind of back in the center, and I think that might have also gotten Wilson a little bit off guard as well. In going back and watching Donovan Wilson's film from this game against the Vikings, I also wish he was a little bit more decisive in terms of when he was playing that center field spot and giving safety help of where he was going to give that help. And it's kind of hard to break down and give my analysis on this in particular because you don't know, being an outsider, what Mike Nolan is telling him to do or what the defensive backs coach is telling him to do in situations like these, whether we're just fine giving man and then having him do a straight deep drop and then giving help wherever the ball goes. You'll see here kind of do a straight deep drop. The ball eventually ends up out here, and then he can come down and give help in case the tackle isn't there. So I was hoping maybe he would come down, make a good decision a little bit quicker, see that this was the deep route on the play, or maybe even key Justin Jefferson because he's their deep target and you're the guy responsible for the deep part of the field. So, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say on a play like this, but you always are going to want your guys to be there a little bit quicker and maybe give more help than kind of just lagging behind. But really is hard to tell without knowing what the coaches are saying to him and having him do in situations like these. This is going to be another play with Donovan Wilson kind of in that center field spot here. And yeah, once again, it's hard to tell exactly what we want him to do from this. And this is just kind of a little critique here when he is playing this little center fielder spot. That you want him to get to the ball, maybe a little bit sooner help out here. It's just going to be a go route to Justin Jefferson, gets Cheeto beat, and Wilson isn't there in time to make a play on the ball, just kind of preventing the touchdown at that point. And yeah, obviously it's hard because you have maybe Thielen could come up the seam here. You're going to want him to help there, but I think they would have wanted, I'm not sure if Thielen went up the seam, not theme. I think he would have been one-on-one there, so Wilson could have very well been there to give him help. Obviously, you're fine with Xavier Woods out there on a running back playing off too. Don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, if you have one-on-one on the outside, maybe kind of he is staggered a bit towards that way, but keep your drop a little bit towards that way. Once again, you see him kind of going off to the left a little bit there. And I think he was watching Thielen, and as soon as Thielen did come back, he did a good job at least going towards knowing he is one-on-one on that side. And, just maybe position himself a little bit wider to the right. I don't know. It's hard with trips out there. But want to see him get there a little bit sooner. Like I said, this is just a small critique of his game because obviously this is a tough position for any safety to be in, especially a young and rather inexperienced one. You'll see on this play here, he just kind of gets crossed up a little bit, ends up going with Jefferson, but then Thielen pops off open over here, and he likely should have been there for that help. It's hard to do. Jefferson kind of seemed like the open man there, and he was fighting to get over. Thielen was given an outside move and ended up coming back in and across the field. So, yeah, it's tough to do. This is something, playing the center field spot is something I'd certainly like to see Donovan Wilson improve on, obviously, and especially so because I think Xavier Woods does some of his best work from down in the box, like you'll see him here on this play. So I know we have been alternating Woods and Wilson at this center field spot, and we'll see Woods back there at center field and Wilson down in the box every so often, and they kind of split time at this center field spot. But if we're trying to win, I would probably prefer the more experienced Woods to be back there a majority of the time over Donovan Wilson. And as shown early in the video, Donovan Wilson does just fine down in the box and making plays around the line of scrimmage. So, yeah, I would definitely take the more experienced Woods at this center field spot, and he typically does well there too. Well, that's going to be the end of this video. I appreciate you guys staying until the end. And yeah, little shout out to Jerry, I guess. We kind of made a joke, a little bit of a meme about him saying we like our guys, and well, I do too. I applaud them for not going after Jamal Adams. I applaud them for not going after Earl Thomas and just staying true to what we have, and it seems like it's paying off. I'm completely fine with putting Donovan Wilson and Xavier Woods at safety for the rest of this year and even the years to come if we're able to re-sign Xavier Woods for the right price. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think of Donovan Wilson and his play this season. And yeah, happy Thanksgiving, guys. Go Cowboys. Whether you're for the tank or for the win, it's always going to be go Cowboys. So once again, appreciate you guys stopping by, and I will see you on the next video.